Have you ever wondered why some people live their entire lives in a loop of, I'll do it tomorrow? Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because something inside them keeps dragging them away from the things they actually want to do.
And the craziest part? Tomorrow arrives every single day, and nothing changes. If this sounds like you or someone you know, then stay with me. Because today we're diving deep into the psychology, the real psychology, of people who keep delaying their life, one tomorrow at a time. I'll do it tomorrow, the most beautiful lie we tell ourselves. We all say this sentence, but some people live by it. Psychologists call this mindset the comfort of delayed responsibility. It feels safe. It feels gentle. It feels like you're giving yourself a break. But in reality, you're borrowing peace from the future and paying for it with guilt today. And that guilt grows quietly, then loudly, then painfully. It's not laziness, it's emotional weight. Here's what most people don't understand. Procrastination is not a time problem. It's an emotional problem. People say, I'll do it tomorrow because they feel overwhelmed. They fear failure. They fear success. They fear change. They fear discomfort. They fear starting. They fear not being good enough. The task isn't the enemy. The emotions attached to the task are. The dopamine trap, why tomorrow feels safer. Your brain is wired for comfort, not achievement. It wants the easy thing, not the meaningful thing. So when you say, I'll start tomorrow, your brain rewards you with dopamine, a tiny hit of fake productivity. It feels like progress, but it's actually self-deception wearing a soft blanket. The illusion of the perfect moment. People who postpone things often believe, I'll do it when I'm ready. I just need the right mood. When everything feels right, I'll begin. But here's the brutal psychological truth. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is created after you start, not before. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the weather to be perfect every day. It's not going to happen. Micro-trauma of repeated delay. Every time you postpone something important, something painful happens inside your mind. You break trust with yourself. You lose self-respect. You lose self-belief. You lose discipline. You lose confidence. You lose emotional strength. You lose identity. Tiny cracks every day, until your mind becomes a place you no longer feel safe inside.
The fear nobody talks about, fear of identity change. One of the strongest subconscious fears is this: if I do the work, I won't be the same person. Because achieving things requires transformation, a new identity, new habits, new responsibilities. Some people aren't afraid of the task. They're afraid of who they'll become afterward. This fear is silent, but powerful.
The hidden trauma behind procrastination. A lot of chronic procrastinators grew up in environments where effort was never appreciated. Mistakes were punished. Love was conditional. Achievement was tied to worth. They were compared constantly. They were never taught discipline, only fear. So as adults, starting feels dangerous. Failing feels terrifying. Finishing feels impossible. The anxiety loop. Psychologists call it the procrastination anxiety spiral.
It goes like this. The task appears, anxiety rises. You avoid the task, anxiety drops. Temporary relief feels good, but guilt increases, feels bad. Task becomes bigger in your mind. Anxiety returns stronger. You avoid again, relief again. You're not avoiding the task, you're avoiding the emotions attached to the task. Time blindness, the silent killer. Some people truly can't feel the passing of time. A 5-minute break becomes 40. A short delay becomes a full day. One day becomes a week. A week becomes 2 years. Time doesn't feel real to them until it's too late. The pain of wasted potential. Ask any chronic procrastinator privately. There's one emotion deeper than everything else. Regret. Not of what they did, but of what they never tried. The book they could have written, the career they could have grown, the health they could have saved, the dreams they could have lived. The pain of maybe is the heaviest emotion a human carries. The moment it finally breaks. Everyone has a breaking point. Sometimes it's a birthday, a hospital visit, a breakup, a failure, a sudden realization, someone younger achieving more, or simply staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m. thinking, what am I doing with my life? And in that moment, tomorrow stops being a comfort. It becomes a threat. The psychology of change, how to break the cycle. Let's fix it. Not with motivation, not with unrealistic advice, with psychology. Start tiny, stupidly tiny, embarrassingly tiny. If you want to write, write 1 sentence, just 1. If you want to clean, clean 1 corner, just a corner. If you want to exercise, just put on your shoes. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates identity. Identity creates discipline. Don't trust your mood. Trust your schedule. Motivation is weather. Discipline is climate. Do the boring part first. Your brain hates discomfort, so attack it early. Change your environment, not your willpower. If the phone distracts you, don't fight it. Remove it. If your room suffocates you, change it. Willpower is weak. Environment is powerful. Forgive yourself for your past delays. You weren't lazy. You were overwhelmed. You were scared. You were human. Forgiving yourself is the first step toward trusting yourself again. You deserve a life that moves, a life that grows, a life that progresses. You deserve a future you're proud of, not a future built from postponed dreams. And remember, tomorrow is not promised, but today is still yours. Start small, start slow, start scared, but start.